Sure. Infamous Gaming, 4th pick for them. 2 more well, I say 2 more. There's an IO there, so we don't 100% know where it's going to be, but, you know, let's go ahead and assume it's going to be another position 1 IO. For now. Infamous might reveal it in this pick, but more than likely they'd reveal it in their last pick, if anything. I suppose they can already guess their mid lane matchup is going to be the Void Spirit, which is a little Nick special. I must say, I do enjoy seeing him on the Void Spirit a lot more than I enjoy the Invoker. I feel like he's kind of held back on the Invoker. It feels like the hero just isn't what it used to be. It's a remnant of its former self. Excuse the pun, by the way. The pun being the Void Spirit. Right, thank you for that, John. I'm glad you picked up on it before I had to explain it. Infamous Gaming. If I have to explain, it's not a very good pun. I just, you know, it was an easy one. It was cheap. It was cheap, and I thought I'll take it. Infamous Gaming.
Yeah, it's fine. Take your shots, but Infamous, as you mentioned, probably wanting to hold on to the IO flex here, which is why they're digging into reserve time. I think if you're just going to go for a mid-core, you could easily just go for something that benefits from the IO, like not Void Spirit, but the OD is in the pool. OD against Void Spirit's all right in terms of lane matchup, and it's one of those heroes that gets super beefed up by the IO once you have that overcharge on, so you can easily scale up even if you go for, say, support IO here, and leaves it open for the last pick. So something like the OD could be a good option. Maybe they look down to Ember once more. Ember versus Void Spirit is also fairly even. We've seen that go either way depending on the mid players. And they did go for the Ember at the end. So Angel had a great time on his Ember. He was playing really well. This time around, I think Lil Nick has more to play with. And we'll see who does come out on top. This is a very mechanical matchup in mid. So it's all down to individual small little plays. And we were seeing both sides make small mistakes, diving tier 1s, getting support rotations in. So it should be an interesting one to watch out for on mid. But we'll have to see how Infamous does close out here, as it looks like even the cut are expecting this to be the core IO as well.
Okay. Final banouts now. We do see some offlaners being banned out for the cut, and they are kind of lacking an offlane pickup here. Well, I say that. No, it definitely is going to be a position 1 weaver for Scourge, so it should be just an offlane pickup to finish things off. Trying to get clever here with my analysis of the draft, John, but it's not working out very good for me. The cut.
That's why you have me, Mike.
Yeah.
That's why you have me here.
We'll see. We saw what happened last game, John.
Shut up, Mike.
Final ban out here for the cut. They get rid of the puck, so you know, a bit of everything here for the cut. They get rid of a mid laner. They get rid of the Abaddon, just in case. And I suppose this is the point where you show us, is this going to be a POS 1 IO, or are you running it as a POS 5?
You don't have the Abaddon lane partner. I think that's the big one Infamous really wanted. You have so much sustain with the IO, very hard to zone out. But something like the Abaddon, so they're looking for something on the 5 that can kind of enable the IO as well if they're going back to it. And they go with Lion. All right, so this is interesting.
I have nothing to say. Nothing to say.
I mean, it's a really good hold for the Weaver. The Hex is here again.
Oh, it's a great pick.
Follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works out well. The issue I have with Lion is, what lanes are they running? Is this a 4 Lion or a 5? Because I think the Tusk might have to stick with the IO. IO Lion is not amazing, and not as amazing as a Tusk IO in terms of what you can get done in lane. So we'll have to see what Infamous does go for there. I think it should just be IO Tusk, Lion, Tidehunter lanes, which is all right. Like, that's one way to kind of spread out the ranged heroes as well. And they do have ways of running down. They've got good burst, good hold. In the cut now, do look for them to maybe finish up with their off lane. I mean, there's some flex here with Elder Titan off lane, but that's not something we see too often outside of certain teams and certain players. So probably not looking for that flex here on the cut. Just want something solid to give them team fight. They go to Pangolier, which does give them a lot of ways of, again, approaching fights, taking early control over if they want to, and gives them options to take really fast timings here. Not many cooldowns to wait for on the cut. They can keep running and gunning at you. Infamous, it's almost the same story. Right? The IO just needs to farm, get that Helm of the Dom up, stay in the jungle, and build up. The rest of Infamous are going to have to buy that space out here, and the cut will have to hunt that IO down. So we'll see if they can get that done here. Also, something to watch out for is Scourge McDuck. If he opts for a fast Javelin, then we should expect to see him down mid as well. I think the cut is one of the teams that actually likes playing that way in Weaver. So we have to see that early pressure on mid to start shutting that map down. And Infamous have to be ready to take those fights around a Ravage, around a First Finger from Michael.
Okay. So, do I dare ask the hard question, John? Who has the better draft, in your opinion? Keywords being in John's opinion.
In my opinion, I think
in your specific
I like
opinion,
Infamous.
sir. You like Infamous?
I like Infamous here. I like it. I like the line. I like the IO Tusk potentially coming out, or the IO line is also fairly potent. Angel was really doing well in mid, like playing on the edge, so I think mechanically he matches up against Lil Nick really well.
Yeah.
Although Lil Nick, again, this is his special. So this is something he knows how to play in and out, and we'll have to see if he can compensate for that last game here. The cut need to play fast, and that's not something we saw in the last game. They were much more happy farming up, so they're going to need to drastically change that playstyle here for game number 2 to punish Infamous for going into the IO. Like, you just can't allow Leo to farm up. Like, once the heart was up, even before, I think once the BKB was up in the IO, it was just impossible to deal with. So they just need to try to get Leo's number and hunt him down. But you can see Infamous already setting up. They're smoked up. They're ready for that first blood again.
Well, they did this exact same thing in game 1, and it did work that time. Last game, they got Tingle King as the first blood, and they might get him again if Tingle's unlucky. But it looks like the cut, at least for now, are prepping and ready to go if the smoke is coming. And that it is. A full 5-man rotation in, but Pingu is going to be there to break the smoke. Reactions, they're going to try and maybe go for the Spirit. Arrow to fly through, landing on the Tide. Who are they going to aim for, though? That's a lot of Spirit damage on your Elder Titan, but Pingu can't hit anyone right now. He's going to die. First blood the way of Mariano. And they tried to fight the smoke rotation. Yeah, Little Nick is also in danger. Earthspike's going to come out. Gush there. Angel trying to block, or rather body block, Little Nick, and they don't actually find him with the Slider Fist up in a second. Not enough, though. No, it is the Resonant Pulse. Not going to block the damage from the Lion. Angel's going to die. Now A's in trouble. Vol's going to chase him down. They might get a 2-for-2 trade. And it looks like that is going to be the case. A will die. But ultimately, I think we can both admit that Infamous did come out on top, surely, with that first blood gold.
Oh, definitely. Angel's going to be up for a really good time. He is not going to be able to get a block off, though, and Leo actually has to go back in to regen a bit before going into the lane. So they're going to have to TP back to their lanes here, which might slow them down a bit. That's one boon here for the cut, as they do manage to set up their own lanes quite nicely. Still managing to see how these lanes break out. Up top, of course, you've got A along with Leo, so it is the Tusk 5 this time. Tusk IO lane is fairly potent. You get tag team off, you get early level in spirits, along with the tether charge on top. A can run you down, so you have to watch that spacing. But I think this time with a Pangolier and a Mirana on hand, it's a lot easier to survive this lane. Although you are seeing A play right. He blocks the range creep from being bursted down, still gets taken out by Tingle with a swash, but it should be a lot easier for the cut to manage his IO lane.
That's a nice deny on the range creep there from Vol. I really thought they weren't going to get away with that, but Vol actually managed to snag it. Of course, in the mid lane, you've got Lil Nick up against Angel. Should be pretty even in that mid lane, I'd say. Maybe Lil Nick feeling a lot more confident on the Void Spirit this time. As we've seen him over and over again play this hero. And, I think Angel will still be pretty fine, though. I can't really imagine either one dying too early on.
No. It's, again, very much a mechanics lane, so it's all down to small plays, how you misstep, where you position yourself, and so far, even on trades in terms of last hits, because both sides have really good ways of wave clearing. You do have to watch out the spammability of that Resonant Pulse. Can make it hard for Angel to hold up. The downtime on Flame Guard is a lot longer for the Ember Spirit, so it's just less time for you to pump out your own damage and clear out the wave. But overall, holding steady. We're going to have to see those supports come out much more potent on the side of Cut because they've got the Mirana. So we'll have to see if they get space to move around there. Still looking down bot, the last lane. Pingu on that Elder Titan is laning up with Scourge McDuck on the Weaver. They are up against the Tide Hunter here, played by Mariano and Michael on the line. We've seen this matchup before. Weaver into Tide can be dicey, especially because you rely on those Sukuchis to get your last hits. So if you close up onto Mariano, he just gets the anchor smash off, and he's just going to be perfectly fine with that. Have to watch that spacing. And Weaver IO as a dual lane isn't the most potent. There's not many kill potentials to go for. So overall, I think Mariano and Michael should hold this lane steady.
They should. Scourge going for the standard Maelstrom Rush. Pretty normal stuff here for the Weaver.
Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Every lane just very quiet for now. But having a look back at mid lane, Little Nick is really starting to pull ahead with that CS. It's a nice Aether Remnant lock onto Angel. Angel does bring out his bottle now, so he's going to be able to get a reset. Power Rune's going to be extremely important in this mid lane. Every spirit is kind of desperate to have those Power Runes. Top lane, Tingle getting a nice disarm there on A. Arrow is going to land as well from Vol. A going to stick charge up, still alive. Starfall going to be duked out as well by the Snowball. They should still be able to get this, but no, Leo's going to heal him up. A so low, the overpower. It's not going to be enough. Leo, he's also going to survive.
Ooh.
My goodness.
That was really good positioning from Tingle Kingo. Going for the swash on the top, trying to find both kills. They don't find it, but this is a very precarious spot for Infamous. They don't have enough regen on hand. They're going to have to ferry out more regen to sustain. There is a salve coming in, though, on A, but they're going to have to really hold out until they get that regen on.
Oh, Angel.
Again,
What an Earth Spike.
Better time.
Michael saving the day there for Angel John. Lil Nick, he's going to die. Angel picked up a haste rune. And they turn it right back around. Pingu going to be chased. Another Earth Spike. They have the chains up. That'll be a double kill out for Angel, but what a rotation in from Michael. Meanwhile, top lane, Vol finding a double kill. He gets both Leo and A. And these two teams, man, they really like to go at it, huh? Neither one wants to back off.
No, from minute 0 and those kills to how the lanes are unfolding, the only real passive lane is that bot because it's a Weaver Tide. So it's just steady farming and some harassment out. But overall, the cut having a better time just a bit. They're getting much more farm this time on Scourge McDuck compared to Leo, and that's the big breakup. Maybe your mid lane's not going as well for Lil Nick, but you are having way better for time on Scourge McDuck. And the eye is very sensitive with these timings. If the Dominator is delayed by too much, it can be way too long until the Ags is up, and that's going to be a slower game overall for the cut that they can't afford, for the Infamous that they can't afford to have. So have to be cautious with how much Leo bleeds out, and you are reaching that point where Scourge McDuck hits hard.
Ooh, Stomp does connect Mariano. He was trying to TP away Sakuchi there with the Astral Spirit, and that should be a dead Tide Hunter. The very nice kill there for the cut. You wouldn't really expect the Tide to die like that, but that TP cancellation from Pingu just coming in the nick of time. Of course, Michael on the line, he tried to help out, but there wasn't too much he could do.
No, it's difficult. Like, you've got this early Javelin up on Scourge McDuck, so he bypasses the boots, goes for that Jav build. Really potent against Tide Hunter, and you can't really stand there and trade against Weaver at this point. You have to be very cautious with that. You do have some good timings here for the cut. They get to split up and start to camp these Power Runes again. Lil Nick should be able to secure bot, but doesn't spawn there.
Second Power Rune he misses out on. Angel's going to get an Arcane Rune now on the Ember. This is not what you like to see when you're playing a Spirit Brother up against another Spirit Brother, is losing all the Power Runes. It can really tilt the balance that was there initially. Top lane, A, going to be in danger again on the task, is going to go for a Snowball. His Snowball target gets denied by Tingle, and eventually he will go down. Pingu's even joined them up top. Looks like they might try to get this push started early with the Siege Creep.
And that's what you want to see. Play fast, try to shut down the map before the IO can farm up. Leo is still waiting for that Dominator to come in, so it's a slower start for him. 800 gold away from the recipe. And if this top tower falls, he's going to have to opt into the jungle early on without a creep to latch onto. That can make it difficult, but they are still TPing up for the defense. It is just A. There are 3 heroes here. It's not that safe.
Shards is on target. They have Angel coming in now with an Arcane Rune. They're going to try and focus down Tingle King. A disarm on the first hit for Tingle. Now an arrow to follow up. Angel still wanting to chase, but that's a lot of damage with that swashbuckle. And now they'll turn it right back around. Starfall is there. Angel should be safe with a Remnant. He wants to kill off the Pango, but it's not enough. The range drops. Save the day for the Pangolier. And Angel probably not going to be too satisfied with that, but they found Little Nick in the mid lane. Problem is they don't have the control for him right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So 2k net worth lead for the cut.
Yeah, and this is the shakeup we needed to see in Game 2. They're playing a lot faster, they're not constrained by cooldowns. Infamous are. They've got Ravage ready to go on Mariano, but they don't really have safe targets to go for yet. And they can't really get a push going themselves on the side of Infamous. They just do not have great push. So they're going to have to wait a bit, wait for more build-up here. But Angel, at the least, is finding some punishment out.
Double damage on Lil Nick. Angel doesn't have mana to actually remnant away, but he kind of just baits as if he is. They're still going to follow him up, and maybe now they realize he doesn't have enough. He'll try for the TP, but the 8th Remnant is going to be there.
I must forgive you for being
They do
only what
get
you
the
are.
kill. That's going to be a fair bit of golden XP going the way of Lil Nick.
Yeah, and this is the big change as well. Lil Nick having a much better time early on. He's not held back by the Invoker. He's just getting what he wants, despite losing out on a lot of power runes. They are also keeping good momentum up top. They were scanned out, but Leo's still hanging around here.
Bottom lane, Mariano almost drops on the tide. Meanwhile, top side, Tingle trying to steal away these stacks. We get pretty much all of it, apart from the large cab. The large creeps. Arrow, gonna be there on the Ember. They've locked him down, but do they have enough time? Snowball is gonna be there. Leo now gonna show up. Tingle King gonna be targeted. Little Nick, nice little resonant pulse, but now the more TP's coming in. Michael with a double stun out. Tingle is set to die and will. Almost getting out, but not quite. Angel. Straight back to the lane. Cut. They are proving to be quite difficult to kill for now.
Yeah, it's down to the fact that your best control is the line. You don't have finger up yet for the burst as well. So it's a lot easier for the cut right now to survive, especially since Angel's like level 8 and really farmed up. So you have to be a bit cautious in Angel.
Yeah, he got locked down for a second. Still, we're just waiting for that 10-minute power rune, hoping it is down bot. Lil Nick, hoping it's not, tries to jump in. Looks like it's going to be up top, and of course, Angel will still be able to get it. Gets a nice invis rune for himself. Meanwhile, towards the north, got A in a bit of trouble, but he goes for the snowball, and Tingle King actually going exactly where he's going. Pops right out of the ball and does kill him off. Now with Angel around, they can at least get a trade here onto Vol. Remnants forward, they do get the kill. They even spot out Tingle. They want another. Remnants forward again. Angel, he has the chains up in 1 second. Tingle, they weren't even needed. The Flame Guard damage is enough to just burn him out. And things are pretty even again. Still a 2k net worth lead for the cut, but in terms of kill score, 9 to 8. And we know with this IO, if Leo's farming, then everything is going according to plan.
Definitely is. He's got the Dominator up. He's got a creep to ride onto. He can clear out the jungle a lot better. They do have a good board tracking that camp, and that's where the cut has been playing really well. They have allowed Scourge McCluck to really just farm though. Maelstrom up, going into the power treads. He has not left this bot lane at all, so he's been farming a lot better than the IO has so far. And they need to punish that. They've got level 6 up on Michael. We haven't seen figure from him yet. We haven't seen Mariano commit a Ravage yet as well. And we're going to need to see some of that commitment. They do smoke up. Oh, Scourge.
Surge, nice smoke being broken. Unfortunately, you will get the time lapse away regardless of the chains. So smoke rotation not going to work. My shadow was popped on Scourge just in case.
Dire structures are fortified.
They really want to try and get that finger on cooldown.
Dire should look to their top tower. Radiant's bottom tower is in danger.
They're just not going to find a target, though.
Dire's top
Yeah, it's
tower
difficult to approach the map. These wards coming out from the cut are really good. They're watching that top jungle super well, so they can tell when a rotation's coming back in. Angel,
He's going to show himself. Misses the chains. Just wants to disrupt the farm. Arrow's going to be quite nice there from the Mirana.
Dire should
Taking that last big creep. I wonder if we've gotten ourselves into a situation where both teams feel like their position one can outcarry the other. Because most people would agree that Weaver is a pretty dominant late game kind of carry. Especially at that level 25 mark, it gets kind of ridiculous. Like, hold that thought, because top lane, they've got Vol. There's your finger out from Michael. Tingle King, he's going to try and keep going. Chains are out on the Ember. Remnant is out as well, just in case he needs it. Tingle still trying, but Snowball is going to be out in time. And they get the kill now back onto Pingu. He tries to stomp. Angel dodges that out. He'll go back onto Michael, where Lil Nick is going to join, getting a nice 8th to Remnant, not even looking back. Just knowing he landed it.
Dire's bottom tower.
Back onto A. Task, he's going to try and fight back, but can't really do too much by himself. That's a pretty good rotation out from the cut this time.
yeah, to get the punishment they want, they only lose a couple of heroes, but they get the punishment they need, hold back on any further aggression. And the issue here for Infamous is they're finding some kills, they're not finding them on the Weaver. So you have to contend with Scourge McDuck having a smooth ride into the SNY. He's got his power treads up. He's still farming a lot better than Leo because the Ags isn't quite up, and it's still 3 parts away here for Leo, so it's still a long road to go. His jungle is still not safe. Infamous has not gotten some D wards off, and that is just going to cause issues here as they're able to constantly contest any stacks built up, and that's just not what you want.
Well, here we go onto the Ember. They're doing a lot of damage here on Angel. Remnant is there. Tingle already preemptively going that way. Angel still trying to juke this one out, but he cannot. Nice kill there by Tingle. Snowball, A. Trying to get something in return. We'll go after the Pango, and they do secure that kill. A nice stomp out. Little Nick trying to jump back in, but he's been hexed. And that should be it, a 1-for-1.
Is under attack.
Mariano could knock it in range to actually get a nice Ravage off on the Tide.
Dire's bottom
And
tower
it looks like that literally is just going to be enough. Just a 1-for-1, and neither team wants to go too much further.
Yeah, but in the end, the cut are getting way more from this downtime in farm. Scourge McDuck pulling ahead at 7.5. Leo is at 5.9, still waiting for the Axe, although mid.
And they got the stomp off. Earth Splitter there. And with the swashbuckle, oh, it woke him up. They needed to time it perfectly. I agree that the Earth Splitter wasn't going to be enough anyway. So either way, if it wasn't timed absolutely perfectly, Angel would have survived. They'll move in again into that Radiant jungle. Scourge gonna see all this. Does get chained up. Snowball there into the Earth Spike and Finger. Oh, Scourge maybe a bit too overly confident, but Tingle King now right in with the Rolling Thunder. A very nice angle. They're gonna kill one, they'll kill two, but the Ravage is there now. Mariano is gonna try and fight back with Leo. But can they do it? Michael's around as well. Pingu, stomp, connects on the Lion. Vol actually gets the arrow and kills off the Lion. So Vol's on a triple now, and Leo needs to run. With the creep he has, he does move very, very fast. 561 without any boots is how fast the IO runs, apparently.
Very balanced indeed. That added move speed is always nice. They are still going in for defense on mid.
I think you have to try, right? You don't want to give it away too quick. A goes down now on the task. Lil Nick Yules up onto the Ember. They'd love to kill off Angel again. Angel this time should be fine as he remnants away. But Vol right in with the Starfall, landing on two. Angel, gotta be careful. Now the step forward, and Lil Nick does have the damage. Mariano, he's a tanky boy, but it may not matter. They roll right through him, and Vol picking up another kill on this Mirana. He's currently 9-2-5, by the way, on this pos for Mirana. Having a very good game.
A very, very good game for him. He does end up with fairly fast Guardian Greaves as well. Like, only lacking the recipe 600 gold away. That's going to be a huge boost to the durability of the cut. Infamous are really close to the axe. In fact, Leo has it. It's just flying in. So this is the spike for the IO. The issue is, everyone on the cut is fairly farmed up. So Leo's got to be very careful in his approach now, as you've got good farm and Scourge Muktuk to handle it. You've got Lil Nick kind of popping off, and of course Vol with the added durability can slow down the burst that the IO will bring in. So Infamous have to still keep investing. Maybe once you have a Maelstrom BKB on the IO, you can start to look around and make some plays. For now, you still have to take that backseat. Angel's farm is taking huge hits to enable that IO. Like, he's at 5.5k net worth, saving up for the Blade Mail. And that's his first item pickup since the phase boot. So slower going for that Ember Spirit this time around, and you can see all the difference Lil Nick on the Void Spirit makes.
It's not to question as well how much this Blade Mail is going to do for Angel. It's not like a Maelstrom that kind of, not necessarily scales, but at least it's always useful. The Blade Mail, yeah, you know, it does feel like it drops off after a while. Maybe a bit of desperation here from our Ember, who is very low in net worth. Regardless, though, Infamous not out of it yet. I mean, we've seen the same story happen before. Leo's got the axe, going into the Maelstrom again. There is a relocate. Where are they going, though? Top lane, there is a gank right now onto Angel, but he's going to be alright. They missed the Earth Spitter a second time. Leo, not actually sure where he relocated to.
I just went home. Refill, top up, go back into farm. They're shoving in that bot tier 1, but they are going to trade their top tier 2 for this if you're not careful. And the aggression is coming out from the cut. They know that bot tier 1 is not worth that much anymore. It's been alive for way too long anyway. Infamous just gonna go with this trade, and it's not a very favorable trade. You lose your top tier 2, you can definitely just take over the top jungle. Infamous has not had control there in a long time. They've not been able to find any of these wards from the cut, so their farming space is limited now. They should just play around bot as much as possible, and that is probably where Leo is just going to focus his efforts on. There is the SNY up in Scourge Muktuk, so he's a lot tankier in that Weaver and hits a lot harder. Infamous does still have Ravage and Finger, so they might want to look for a play, but they're just not finding the angles and the heroes to jump onto. They do smoke up.
They're going to try. It's a smoke-on-smoke situation. Moonlight Shadow also popped here by Vol. Oh, they'd love little Nick. Hex is out, but the Aether Remnant quickly onto Angel with the Snowball and Ravage. Everything being committed, but there's a massive sleep. Oh, the Stomp saving the life of little Nick. He's going to get himself out of there. And Infamous, they threw everything at him. Michael's still going to die on the Lion. Little Nick is still on the run. Leo is trying to chase him down. They might get him in the end, and they do. Tusk has no choice but the Snowball back towards Scourge McDuck. Instead, they focus down the IO, however. Leo going to die. He had to recall to catch out Lil Nick on the Void. And they still want A as well. Scourge gonna run right into him. He's still buying a lot of space, but there's no IO to give the space to, unfortunately. And that might be a Roshan.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. You can twack away real fast with the Elder Titan round with all the damage you have in Scourge McDuck. Not gonna be too long for this Rosh. Infamous, they clumped up too hard, and they threw all their heroes so close together. The Spirit was on top, and they couldn't dodge. I thought Angel was looking for the Sleight of Fist dodge, but couldn't get that off. Now they give the first Aegis away. Scourge McDuck gonna have so much leeway in these fights to stand in front, get his damage off. Infamous have to lick their wounds, go back to farming, try and build up. Maelstrom still coming out for Leo, and once that's up, it's into the BKB. So that's the spike they're looking for on Infamous's end. It's just that they've sacrificed so much to hit that point. Like the farm here on Angel, like he just got his blade mail, and that's really it so far. Gonna have to see what he lines up next. You do have the blink up on Mariano though, so there's an option for the blink Ravage. That could be big. We should also eye Michael's blink timing. Once you have these two blinks on the Tide and Lion, you have more options to approach. You have that instant Hex to get these kills, and they need to secure these kills because it's just bleeding away from them right now in Infamous.
We saw Leo buying the tomb earlier on, just trying to rush that level 20. He's got the 15 now. It's gonna help a little bit. So we'll smoke up from the cut. Looks like it's gonna lead to nothing. They get into the triangle, but they aren't quite able to find out Leo. They double down with the Moonlight Shadow, but it seems as though they are well aware that something is awry. Leo's not leaving the base, however, Lil Nick has found the task. A being caught out, but a nice Earth Spike. Out from Michael, into the Hex. Rolling Thunder, though, being committed. Tingle King trying to move forward, back onto the task, and they will eventually get the kill.
You haven't failed. This was your greatest
Mariano just quickly pushing out the bot lane before he TPs out. It looks like Scourge actually found Leo on the IO, but there's no way to lock him down right now. He's going to be able to freely just make his way back to the base. So for the cut, back into that mid-tier 2 tower they go.
And Leo's just doing what he can, constantly going bot, cutting that creep wave off, trying to get some farm, and trying to apply some pressure in that bot lane. Good counter movement out from Tingle King though, and they do find that mid-tier 2 as well. So the cut, finding all the objectives, they hit some major power spikes here. Lil Nick with the Ags up. AoE silence going to ruin everyone in Infamous. No defensive items on any single hero. In fact, Angel's just trying to rush an Aeon disc. So that'll be nice, but that means no BKB for the silence. Just rely on that really long cooldown passive.
Well, Lil Nick rushing forward now. They saw Leo again. They get the Yules off, but a nice Hex is there from Michael. No follow-up onto the IO. Almost killing off his creep. Swashbuckle not going to land. They can't get the Hellbear Smasher. Arrow actually going to land on Mariano. The cut. It's probably about time to back off. Maybe just having some memories of the last game and not wanting to wait too long, which I can appreciate.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a Lil Nick.
Dire's bottom tower
You won't see him anymore. Smoke gonna be broken. Chains out. He's underneath the Sentry Ward. Gonna be able to get the Void Spirit. A nice kill there from Infamous.
Yeah, that's an important one for them to find. They did smoke up for that one, but there's still some movement out from Infamous. They could look for a new angle. Just that without that AoE silence, without the Lil Nick, it's harder to get that control up front. So should sit back, build up. We did find that bot tier 1, and they are just kind of steadily building up. We are seeing the Scotty almost done in Scourge McDuck, just about 300 gold away. And once you have that, the regen on the IO is not going to be amazing. It's going to be a major issue for Leo. They even have the Spirit Vessel up now on Vault. So IO sustain not going to be as big of an issue for the cut in approaching that core. And Infamous still need a lot of time to bounce back here if they can.
I mean, they need, yeah, quite a bit of time for sure. BKB on Leo is going to be very nice once it's up. Lil Nick trying to go onto the Ember. Yules is out, but he's already used the 8th of Remnant. No Resonant Pulse charges either. Still trying to go onto Angel, however. Snowball there. Shards not really going to land properly. They'll go onto the Elder Titan instead, but Pingu is going to survive, and now Scourge McDuck. Just way too much damage on this Weaver right now. It's even got the Eye of Skadi up on the Weaver. It's a very painful experience to run into this bug at the moment. Infamous just going to try and buy more time. I think it's all about creep skipping right now for this team.
Yeah, just stall out, try to build up on this IO. BKB is progressing well enough in Leo, so he is still finding some good farm. Trailing behind Weaver by 3,000 gold. That's a pretty big gap now between Scourge and Leo, so have to watch yourself from bleeding out further. They might get caught out here though.
So they've got their Hex out. Pingu. Nice easy kill. Good, just showing up with little Nick though. They just want to go for another kill. Mariano, he is not that tanky. In fact, Michael, that's a lot of damage up from Scourge. Little Nicky found another. This will be a big one. The Aeon Disc on Angel is going to save the day, but Scourge was already waiting on the triangle high ground. Angel, one more remnant left. He's going to be all right. With the haste rune, he won't need it. With these two heroes down, you might be able to get some tier 3 tower chip damage going.
Yeah, and Scourge McDuck can just rip right through these objectives. Has a good amount of damage on him. And of course, Geminate is just pretty darn strong in those pushes. So you have to watch yourself for your Infamous right now.
Love that little cheeky snowball from A. Forcing the Sakuchi back from Scourge. That'll be enough. Tier 3 tower damage done. No rush. Leo is almost level 20, but it doesn't feel like that's going to make enough difference yet.
No. It's difficult. Like, he has to worry about the Scotty, he has to worry about the Spirit Vessel. His BKB is going to help him massively, and he's only 400 gold away. So you should have that up at a good point, all things considered. And Infamous, the one silver lining for them is their high ground defense is great. They've got Ravage to play with. They've got Earth Spike coming out from Michael. There's a lot of control in the high ground and tight areas like that they can depend on. So they still have tools on hand to play here. They just have to be cautious about being picked off like this one by one.
Yeah, Angel misses the arrow at least, or dodges it rather. Does manage to get himself out. Looks like Michael will be the person who has to go down instead. That line going down, Scourge right back into that mid-tier 3 tower. Forces the cliff out. Leo's still desperately trying to get his level 20 going. He's almost there. And there's your BKB too. It makes you wonder, what chance do you think Leo has of being able to push this game back? Dota Plus is at 95% for the cut right now.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. Like a 5% chance of swinging it. There's just so much to worry about. Like, Scourge McDuck is on a hero that's actually relevant into late game. He's not going to be hitting softly. He's going to be hitting you hard with his right clicks now. And Infamous, they just don't have the answers. You're way too far behind an Angel, and you might get caught out here with Moonlight, but they are smoked up. So this could be a awkward fight for both sides.
Oh, if they could somehow get Scourge first, they might just be able to. They spot him out of time. Ravage is there with the Hex. They've got him. All right, they've got the Weaver. They could definitely take this fight now. Tingle just going to Rolling Thunder TP out, and unfortunately they aren't going to be able to get anyone else.
Relocate?
It's there, but they are being avoided like a bad smell right now. Unfortunately for Infamous, no Roshan either to go to. So nothing comes out of this. Maybe the mid-tier 1 tower, but we're almost 30 minutes into the game. I'm not really sure how much this matters.
Nah, it doesn't matter too much, and they don't even find it. Their push is just a bit too slow on the side of Infamous. They are checking the pit again, but it's still 40 seconds off. And they could look to maybe take another fight once the BKBs have refreshed, but it can be a bit dicey.
Snowball. Nice juke out there with the Simulate. Walrus Punch still out on the Mirana with the Hex out from Michael. It's easy kill, but a nice Earth Splitter. At least trade the Tusker's life for the Mirana. They even get the Aeon Disc proc on Angel. Little Nick, meanwhile, just holding down Leo on the IO. We might be seeing a bit of a momentum shift here. Rolling Thunder. Michael, no real way out of this one. Leo already forced to pop his BKB and just TP away. Tingle King losing half his HP to spirit damage while the TP was happening. And unfortunately for Infamous, now the Roshan spawns.
Yeah, and that's a scary point now. Infamous have to contest this. They will have Ravage in 40, but that's a bit too long. They know the rush is going on because the courier dies. So they might be able to find an angle, but without line and without Ravage untied, it's just very difficult to jump in unless Angel makes a big play, but they're way too far out. So Second Roche going the way of the cut. No contest here. Aegis Cheese going the way of Scourge McDuck as well. He does send the cheese to Lil Nick. Infamous, I mean, we've seen what happens. They have some damage on hand. They have some power on hand. Once you have this Heart on Leo, you do feel a lot comfier. They will always have to jump Scourge McDuck first, though. That's going to be important in every single fight that breaks out. Lock the Weaver in, burst him down before he can run away, and clean up after. And that does tie them into Ravage. So they've got the big timer in Ravage to play around. They need to wait for that spell to be up before they take these big engagements. That's a lot of downtime that the cut can abuse. Well, you have a Basher up in Leo, so I guess not going for the Heart, just wants to get control here.
I mean, why not? He needs it for the Weaver, right? Like, if you don't have a stun, you can't really lock him down. We've seen how much damage he can get out with those spirits. I think any form of disable into a level 25 Weaver is going to be nice. And of course, he's not level 25 yet, but he's almost there. And you're going to need every stun you can get with that added movement speed through Sakuchi. Unless he goes for the added Germinate attack, but we never see that. Very rare to see that picked over the movement speed. Scourge going to move up, disarmed immediately by the Heaven's Halberd of Mariano. Nice stomp. Rolling Thunder going to be committed. BKB is there from the IO in time, so the Rolling Thunder not going to stun him up, but they've got Angel in control. He is silenced, he is controlled, and he is dead. No buyback.
Yeah, that's an iffy point for Infamous. They are holding off the push for now, though. There is still a Ravage that they've got to worry about. Maybe they expect a buyback here on Angel. Doesn't quite have the gold. So they just play it safe on the cut. They don't want to overextend, take too many risks. They do have the Basher up under Weaver now as well. So both sides going for the Abyssal build up here. We'll see who does get it first, although.
Don't forget, they can also still hit the Bash as a ranged hero. And Weaver does have a higher chance because it attacks so quick and it's got Germinate attack. So you never know. Aether Remnant going to be taken by the creep of the Io, but Lil Nick is right in there. They've got him, Leo! Alright, that I was not expecting. But Leo's down with that buyback. And now, I think they're set to lose all their racks. How do you defend without the Io?
You can't. Now, all your net worth's on that IO. Everyone else is just too far behind to really do as much. They do have Ravage to play with, but they need more heroes on top, and they're going to lose at least 2 sets of racks. Probably more if they're not careful.
Aether Remnant is going to catch out the Ember. Aeon Disc going to save the day, but an arrow does connect on the tail end. Still Angel going to be safe. Lil Nick going for a bit more with the step. In with the Resonant Pulse. Swashbuckle Tingle. He gets him in the fountain. That's a cheeky swashbuckle right there. The cut now going for that final lane of barracks. Infamous not calling GG. They are probably going to try one more team fight before they do call it. But this should mean a guaranteed mega creeps for the cut, assuming they can get these towers down in time. I guess it's not so guaranteed because the IO is up in 10.
It's really awkward. They do have Ravage on hand. They've got Blink on Tide. They can try to make a play, but they need to find a really good angle, and it's just difficult. You can see Mariano is just holding out as much as possible, and they just can't really figure out which hero to jump first.
A has a Ghost Scepter. Stomp, not gonna land. I mean, you've got the Megas up. There's no real need to try and force anything if you're the cart. Finger is there. They've actually killed off Tingle. So they've lost the Pangolier now, and that'll be enough to force them to back off.
The prize is mine.
And I suppose Infamous, they're just going to keep trying to defend and play this one out.
Yeah,
Mariano?
There's all.
They're going to see the Weaver. They aren't going to make the dive in, though.
There's always the potential to bounce back here for Infamous, especially since you've got Ember. They held out long enough that the Aegis does expire, but playing up against Mega Creeps is just difficult, right? Like, Angel doesn't have a Maelstrom to clear out these waves, so it's a slower process in getting that D-push. Of course, Leo can kind of just have the Spirits run through and get that done that way. And I guess Tidehunter can kind of manage it with Anchor Smash as well. But it's slow going now. It's a slow choke out. The Cut have everything they want. They're just building up even more. Looking at the Gleipnir next here for Scourge McDuck. More control coming out, more damage. And it just helps them hammer in this game. Lil Nick going for a Sanj and Kaya. Kaya and Sanj coming out at some point. That should help them again get the initiation. Oh.
Mid lane, they've caught Angel. Arrow gonna fly through, but the Aeon Disc again saving the day for the Ember. He is able to back. Still got 2 remnants to go. He should be fine. He does reveal himself. By the way, he did go for the extra Germinate attack on the Weaver. So,
Great.
yeah.
There it is. Always nice. Just focusing on damage. He doesn't need the move speed as much in this game. There's not much catch on Infamous to punch him. So he's got so much more leeway with getting that additional DPS in. If you lose a couple of heroes, these last objectives will not last long. And Infamous are kind of locked out from finding their own tier 4s. You can see a lot coming out here for the Cut. Minotaur Horn and Leveler just going to help them in that push. And Infamous just have no access to the jungle. They can't even find any of these power spikes that they might get with tier 4s. They just have to play the slow game, holding the high ground.
We've seen this before. We had a previous game like this, and well, you could just control the whole map as the Cut now, so you could just continue to increase this net worth lead. And like before, the Dota Plus win probability just sits at 99%. Oh, Leo, he's been spotted. Tingle has found him. Doesn't have recall either. That's a lot of damage coming out, but he was already out of there with the relocate, I believe, on the way out. Caught out the Tide now, Mariano. Just fine. Ate the remnant there. Angel does juke that one out. Step in, Little Nick. Pops the Aeon Disc. First Twitter. It's only going to be on the task. He does take all the damage and is maybe going to die as they will chase him down. Arrow not quite going to land on anyone. Snowball is there, finger committed, the Weaver in trouble, there's your Ravage. They have not burst him down yet though, but he is going to be able to get the time lapse off. He gets it off in time, they've killed off A, they've got Michael, they've got Angel. Mariano, he's trying to run, so is Leo. But it's looking pretty over as he does get bashed with the Abyssal Blade. Another bash coming out from this Weaver, and Leo's going to go down. All the buybacks being expended. They're going to try one more time. Little Nick actually trapped in the tree line right now, but he gets to assimilate. And they're onto the Ancient. There's your GG call there by Infamous. They've had enough. That'll mean this series ends up in a 1-1 for both teams. And what a series it was, John.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth there. Going 1-1 does mean that Infamous is not going to be able to leapfrog for Zoomers to take number 3, so they're going to be stuck at the 4 position for now. Rather unfortunate for them. The Cut do also hold on, hanging in the group here. And just really close back and forth. The Cut fixing their issues from game 1. They play a faster game here. They run around. They get so much space for Scourge McDuck. Infamous did not have the presence we'd expect from a Tidehunter, especially since we have seen that matchup actually work for the Tide in a lot of cases. So it didn't come out there for Infamous. They couldn't play around with these early fingers and Ravages as well. They held back way too long. And the Cut just found the punishment. They got some really good forward wards. They slowed down Leo's farm. And the IO, when it doesn't get an early Dominator, early Ags, it sometimes falls a bit too far behind. And Angel could not carry the slack. So well played from the Cut. Infamous, unfortunately, just going to have to settle with a draw here.
That is true, John. And with that, that is it for us tonight. Of course, we will be back tomorrow night. And well, tomorrow we've actually got 4 series on for the day rather than 3. So that'll be an exciting day for us. Until then, however, it is MLP Dota and JohnXFire, and it's been an absolute pleasure. See you all again tomorrow.